You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate.
And we are live.
Nice
Hello,
now.
friends. You're listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast.
Six Nations.
The Six Nations.
Six Nations.
Today is basically going to be going through the funeral of Wales, of the Welsh rugby.
Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to be sad, aren't I?
Yeah, you can't be happy.
Do you remember that meme? Ghana says goodbye, and it's all those Ghanaian dudes carrying the coffin.
We're just going to have to wipe all of Welsh stuff from the podcast now. You know, I'm like a blue-collar guy. I get names wrong. I get facts wrong.
Yeah.
I slur when I talk. I say the wrong words when I'm meaning to say something else all the time. But your Welshness is hurting this podcast.
You're just like the English, trying to erase our history and culture.
That's what I got to
Get
do.
away.
I got to erase the history from this podcast.
Jeez. Many have tried.
That's what's really going on here.
Many have tried.
How are you doing, Frank?
I was in a good mood. I'm all right. I'm kind of like, when Neo realizes that nothing is real and he can catch bullets out of the air. I'm enlightened. I'm above it all now. I just see things for the unnecessary things that they are. Like,
I think your saving grace here is that, you know how there's people that
there's no saving grace. There's none.
There's people that are, like people that call themselves rugby fans, but they're really like, oh, this guy's just a Springboks fan. He's not really a rugby fan.
Oh, just the international people.
Or he's just a Welsh fan. Like, you're a rugby fan.
I am a rugby fan.
So there's other things to make you happy. There's other things to warm your heart.
And actually, didn't I seem in a good mood about 30 seconds ago when we were talking about rugby and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Because I do get excited. It's hard, though. It is hard. It is hard right now. I'm really digging deep into the rugby bank of nerdery to keep me going because this was supposed to be the True Blue weekend.
It wasn't the True
It was
Blue.
all the True Blue teams are going to win. Fucking didn't.
They said all the bad guys won this week.
They did. All the bad guys won all the weekend, and one of the bad guys was one of the True Blue teams. But now Italy are the bad guys. So anyway, we'll get into all that, I suppose.
How do you? We're finished the second weekend of Six Nations.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
I thought that was the dog. That's your foot.
Yeah.
We're in the second weekend of.
And you're flirting me with your feet in the second week.
Yeah,
Buy me a drink first.
I thought I was rubbing the dog's paw. Okay. I could keep rubbing your foot. We can play footsie still. If you
No, it's okay.
But what was I saying? Second week of Six Nations.
Yeah.
How do you feel so far about it?
About generally.
Yeah.
Generally.
How do you think this year is going?
I think England winning is a big deal. Because there was a danger of going back to the 90s where it was just England and France, and now there was a feeling that it was going to be France and Ireland just chucking the trophy back and forth for a few years. Mm-hmm. So I think England winning, England have sort of become a giant slayer recently, haven't they? Like they've stopped France having a Grand Slam. Last year they stopped Ireland getting a Grand Slam. Mm-hmm. They're becoming sort of giant killers.
They're party poopers.
They're party poopers. I was saying in a more glamorous way.
They're professional party poopers.
Yeah, they are.
They're coming in, everyone's having a great time. Like, here we go. And then England comes in like, fuck it. And then they punch a hole in the wall and take a shit in it.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Seriously though, like England have made the competition fun because it's wide open now. Now that game, I mean, it is a bit sad because that game, France and Ireland, could have been a Grand Slam decider, and it'll still be a good game. But I think we've got to have some turbulence. We've got to have some unpredictability. There's a danger of Six Nations becoming predictable.
Ireland are the only team that can get a Grand Slam.
They are, and that's the thing, though. I think a lot of people would say if France played Ireland in France, which they're not, then whoever was playing that home game, I think, would have won. But I think Ireland probably win the Grand Slam now. But then France are going to be really angry and vengeful. So we'll get into that game in more detail, I'm sure.
For me, thanks for asking.
I was going to. Calm your tits.
I feel like every team besides Ireland have their backs against the wall. Every team needs to win this competition this year, right? Every team has like the expectations to win this tournament.
Yeah.
And I kind of want them all to win the tournament.
Do you know that happened once?
I assume that like on a shared points kind of thing.
No, every team won a game, and it was everyone had exactly this. This was before the days of points difference, so everyone won. Everyone got a participation medal. Yeah,
because I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I just like everyone like France. They need to like France are up against the wall. Like they need to be doing better than they are.
There's pressure on Galtier now.
Scotland need to win a Six Nations.
They need to beat Ireland. Yeah. That's their litmus test.
It doesn't even matter. They just need to win a Six Nations.
I think beating Ireland comes before winning a Six Nations. Yeah, but yeah, they do.
Like they need it. Italy need to win a Six Nations.
Italy need to win 2 games in this tournament.
They need to maintain their form.
They do.
Right.
They really do.
They have to take a big scalp.
They do.
And
Wales aren't a big scalp this year, are they? We're not.
Wales need a win.
Yeah.
Like everyone needs
for
something. England need to win at 6. Like everyone's backs up against the wall.
Except Ireland.
Except for Ireland. Ireland could lose a Six Nations and it would be kind of like, fuck.
It's kind of nice in a way because if Ireland was shit this year, there's no pressure on Andy Farrell. I wasn't there. That was Simon Easterby. He's got a fall guy. It's the perfect situation for him.
It really is the year where they have the least on the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because their head coach is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And their squad is...
I would have taken that... I would have taken that as an excuse to
lose a few games.
To experiment
a
little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what, Easterby, you don't have anything to lose here.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I say that, I'm undervaluing the true passion behind the fans of this. Like
Ireland have really high standards now, and that's how you win World Cups. Is you have high standards, right? So they need to have that South African New Zealand attitude of every single fucking game we go for the jugular.
Yeah.
And they're doing that. And good for them. But yeah, to say there's no pressure on Simon Easterby doesn't do him credit or the Irish setup credit. They deserve credit for their high standards, right? There should be pressure on everyone.
I do think we'll get into this game when we get to the game. I do think them like persistently starting Sam Prendergast is part of that.
It's an experiment.
It's more of an experiment
rather than a steady.
Let's just give this guy. We got really nothing to lose this year. Let's give this guy as much experience as possible. Let's throw him into the weeds.
That's actually a good point.
And I think if they were going to...
Did you just make a Sam Prendergast point I agree with?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And I think if All Blacks are coming into town or the Springboks for a one-off, they wouldn't start him. They put Crowley in.
Probably.
That's just pure speculation. I have other thoughts on that, but yeah, I just feel like there's just a lot of like teams that need to do something and they all can't. I just feel bad for them.
You feel bad for them?
Yeah, I feel bad for those.
Who are you supporting this week?
All the teams.
Oh, okay, so you feel bad for everyone that you're supporting?
I'm cheering for rugby.
No, you're not.
I cheer for rugby.
Okay.
I have a tiered system of who I cheer for.
It is.
I cheer for different teams depending on who's playing against them.
Yeah, whichever one has the shiny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I'm a bit. You can tell I'm tender, so I might lash out at you a little bit today.
Well, let's get into. You can lash out. I mean, you can let it all out, but this is a safe space.
Thank you.
You could in a way that you could be as abusive to me as you want.
Yeah.
That's you could say some horrible things about me, and
I'll nasty personal stuff.
Yeah, if you want to dig deep, try to get under my skin.
Yeah.
Right now, you're allowed to do that. I'll let you do that because I know how you're going through.
You're a hard guy to wind up as well. I like to think I am as well. Like we've both got pretty thick skins, haven't we?
Yeah. The problem is
we like a laugh at our own expense.
Yes. The problem is that I don't realize other people are like that.
Yeah, me too.
So I'll say some shit.
Yeah.
Not thinking that it's offensive or anything.
Yeah,
and I'll crush some souls.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh shit, like that wasn't that right. That wasn't a good joke at all.
Yeah. No, me too.
Right? Because I'd be like, oh, I'd be perfect fine with that. Like, yeah.
So, but we can be horrible as fuck to each other today. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not going to now because I've got oppositional defiance disorder and I don't want to do what you tell me to do.
I'll text you a
really nice to you.
A list of recently dead relatives, and you can even like jab it.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, now we're talking. yeah. All right, we'll get into
as
it.
Deep as you want. Let's talk about the first game of the weekend. Let's just get this out of the way.
Fuck! Don't say it like that. You've hurt my feelings straight away.
I'm trying
to
get it
out the way.
I'm trying to make it as least painful as possible for you.
Okay. All right.
You get all this passion, and it'll build up the passion for the rest of the podcast. Wales, Italy, 22-15.
That is a rough sound.
It looks like it was almost a tight game.
It wasn't, though, was it?
No.
We both know it was not a close game. I've never seen as bad a performance from Wales. Ever.
I want to say about this. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
There was just nothing there for them.
No attack.
They looked worse than last game.
Italy were like playing with their food a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were times where they were just managing the game so confidently.
I found this is the weekend of missed opportunities.
Yeah, Italy could have.
Like a lot of teams had a lot of chances to like
put the game to bed, eh?
Put the game to bed, and they didn't. They would fuck it up.
Yeah.
Like, and
with greater consequences for the France-England game.
Yes, exactly.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So like Italy, they made a lot of mistakes, and this scoreline should have been higher.
It should have been. Italy could have been 2 tries higher than that. Definitely. Yeah. And it was almost like from minute one, that first Italian penalty wasn't far into the game. And as soon as they kicked it through, you could tell they were there to manage the scoreboard. And what really got my goat about this is it was pissing it down. The conditions were shit. Italy knew how to deal with the rain better than the Welsh team. Italy knew how to deal with bad conditions better than the guys who come from we were born in the rain. They were already adults before they'd seen their first fucking shower. Like what, fucking hell.
Like if you're
ruined my funny Batman reference. That's how angry I am.
When you're looking at the stats for this game, like Italy is just all over it.
The game management was very calm, wasn't it?
Balotelli had the most carries in this game, 13 carries.
Yeah, and he didn't even play.
I was forgetting he was. I was sometimes forgetting he was on the field.
He did okay, considering he played like 2 games of rugby in about a year. He did okay. Aaron Wainwright, when he came on, was really impressive. Jack Morgan's stats really good. That's about it, though. I thought actually your lock of the year. Do you remember who's your lock of the year, Steve? Don't even remember his name, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, what's it called? Teddy Williams. William Webb Ellis Trophy.
Reese
Jones.
Williams. Something like that.
Yeah.
Alan Reese Jones.
Alan Reese Jones, Teddy Williams. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, he had a good game.
Yeah.
He had a good game. He's good.
I told you.
I believed you. He's just not the best lock in the world. What else can I say about... It's hard to even talk about in a way. Not because I'm sad, because I am sad, but like...
Another thing...
It's kind of a boring game.
There's one thing that's actually surprisingly pretty good about Wales.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people talk about is their scrum. It's
not bad, is it?
Their scrum is good. I don't think they've lost a scrum yet.
Well, we had a couple scrum penalties yesterday, but they were those kind of scrum penalties where it's like someone's elbow hit the deck and it was like, did that actually... The strength of the scrum is good, right? Yeah. We're not going backwards.
Like, I think Wales are the only team that hasn't lost a scrum in the Six Nations yet.
Could be. Yeah, could be. And Adam Jones came in, sorted it out. It's almost like good coaches get good results, right?
But this was Wales' only chance.
It was. Dan Biggar said it the other day, didn't he? This is our biggest game in 15 to 20 years. He was absolutely right. And we looked like we didn't care. Like the guys look tired.
Yeah.
A lot of guys, there's a kind of a split camp right now. It's like you're either coming for Gatland or you're coming for players, or there's a third camp coming for the WRU, but I think everyone's also in that camp of fuck the WRU. But Ben Thomas at 10. So Gatland played a 12 at 10. He played a 12 at 13. And then I think he played a 13 at 12. So immediately, it's like pick a mix with the positioning. Like, you're a professional coach. The fuck you doing? And people are saying Ben Thomas's kicking was bad, which it was. Yeah, no shit, he's a 12.
How did you feel about Dan Edwards coming on?
He looked good. Yeah. I think why isn't he starting? I haven't seen enough of him to give him the credit he probably deserves. You know? He's just not... why isn't he playing 10? Why isn't he playing 10?
The saddest thing about the game was Tom Rogers' walk-off.
Oh. He's good as well.
It's just like, he just looked so defeated when he was leaving the field.
Yeah. Just like, what's the fucking point?
Oh my gosh. Like, his walk of shame. I've never seen a walk of shame out of a game like that before.
Yeah.
He might as well have been holding a pair of high heels in his hands, barefoot, walking.
Yeah. Mascara running down his face.
I was just like, what the fuck?
And he had Blair Murray at fullback and Tom Rogers on the wing. Tom Rogers has played more time at fullback and is a good fullback. He's a good winger. Like, it's like he's holding us hostage. It's like Gatland is holding us hostage. Every week I get up and I go, remember all the good times we had. And now it's like an abusive relationship where it's like they like, don't you remember the good times? Well, you're getting slapped around. Like, it's horrible.
It's like you said earlier. It feels like Gatlin's trying to sabotage.
It feels like an inside job at this
because
stage.
I see a lot of fans and you being like, "Why isn't this guy on the team? Why isn't this? Where is he? Where's
you
this
can
guy?"
speculate, right? But to play 4 guys out of position seems conspiracy territory, doesn't it?
I know a lot of like international coaches do that.
They do, but not four guys, right? And not when you've got a literal 10 on the bench. And where was Reffel? Why was he on the bench? Where was he? What was he doing?
Is he not injured?
Don't think so. I hope he better be fucking injured. Better be.
Where's turnover Tommy?
Yeah, where's turnover Tommy? Fucking hell. I mean, I you know me. I like to have a laugh. This is hard to joke about
because this is like Italy was the favorite. Like this is the longest time I've ever. I think this might be the first time I've ever watched an Italy game where they are the favorite to win.
Even when they beat us comfortably last year,
they were not the favorites.
I don't think they were the favorites.
No, they weren't.
Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, they were the favorites going into this game.
They just did exactly what they had to do to win this game. And the worst thing about this, Italy have gotten better. They don't make as many mistakes that you can pounce on, but they will not be scaring other teams, right? They've lost to Scotland. They are not gonna beat England, Ireland, or France. They're still not that good. They're good, but we are the bad team now. We are Italy.
It's something that they need to. They need to take another scalp in this tournament.
Yeah, they do.
They have to. They can't just beat Wales and then call that a success.
No. I think they'll be ambitious enough to want to do that.
Beating Wales right now in the position that whole union is in.
Yeah,
that's not a victory.
It's not, is it?
No.
It's
just like you can't claim that as like a battle-hardened win.
Doesn't feel like a step forward, does it?
No.
It just feels they did a good job, but yeah,
like you don't learn anything about rugby watching this game.
Yeah, and you don't want to sound disrespectful to Italy, do you? Because they are better. Mm-hmm. Their centre partnership's really good. They've got some really good... Cannoni at 8, he was class. They've got some really good on-field leaders like Lamaro's class. So they genuinely have a good team, but I don't see them threatening other teams right now. Keep building, though. But, yeah.
I don't... Yeah, they need... Like I said, they need to take another scalp.
They do.
Or even if they go to the brink with another team, I would call that a win.
France usually has a wobble, but they had that this weekend.
They did. They had their wobble.
Yeah.
Maybe Italy will give England a good run for their money.
I hope so.
That'd be pretty cool.
I want the True Blues to win.
The True Blues?
The True Blue Trio.
You just called them the villains earlier.
Yeah, we can be both. We can be villains and the True Blues. I don't think True Blue is a neutral term. Fucking care
back to
about
Wales.
This.
Like they're stuck in a bad place.
We're just shit. Yeah,
they're literally being held hostage by their coach.
We are. Yeah, it feels that way.
Gatlin's he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, that was the sad thing yesterday because there was so much writing on the wall about that's the game. Because remember when Pivac got fired, like he beat South Africa in South Africa, he won a Six Nations, looking good. Our defense wasn't as good, but he was scoring tries. We scored so many tries into Pivac. Then he lost to Italy and Georgia, and he got fired because as the Welsh, we expect better. We are a tier 1, historically very good rugby nation.
But not anymore.
But Gatland...
he gets away with everything.
He could murder someone in training, you know? He could do a press conference naked with a swastika on his forehead and people like, give him a couple more weeks, guys. Because do you know what? We can't afford to fire him. We cannot afford to fire him.
Yeah, he must have like some just super lockdown contract.
He does, yeah. We're just the reality is we're too poor to get rid of him. And he's just sat there going, I think I'm going to play Tommy Reffel prop. I think it's going to be fun. I think he's going to enjoy it.
It really does. Yeah. It's hard to argue that he just doesn't give a fuck anymore.
Right, yeah.
He's like, whatever.
Yeah.
This is what I got. This is what's going to play.
And like, I don't think he's enjoying this. But because he sat there struggling to breathe in the press conference, saying things that are just generic defensive statements, right? Like,
Who would you want in the coaching spot?
First thing I'm going to say, and I'm not being dramatic, it's better to have nobody than him right now. It is. Look, that worked for Munster. They did him fine without a coach for a little bit.
All right, we're replacing Gatlin with this PlayStation 5.
Look at the lights. Look at it shine.
We got this 12-year-old kid named Tom. But he's really good at Rugby 2022.
Yeah. How can you bring in Rob Howley and then say that our attack has improved? How can you say that? How can you say that?
How can you bring in Rob Howley when he was in there, they had the worst attack in international rugby when he was there.
We were winning despite of our attack.
Yes.
We really were.
Because you guys were better at a lot of other things.
Yeah, we were so good at defense that our attack didn't matter.
Making points was not on your guys' cards.
No.
And and to bring him back as something that's going to fix the game.
Yeah. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Like you need some you should be bringing in someone that has an ambition to make it the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not going back to what it was like fucking 8 years ago.
Yeah, when it wasn't good anyway.
No.
Yeah. It's bizarre.
It's just fucking crazy.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It really is. Yeah.
Kingsley Jones is coming into the Welsh squad.
Looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised anymore.
Who's the old coach from the Dragons they just released?
Di Flanagan.
He's coming into the Welsh squad.
I genuinely take Di Flanagan over Gatland right now. He's a nice guy. He loves his guys. Like, he's not a bad... It's hard to say he's not a bad coach. He doesn't win a lot.
Who's the coach that's leaving? He's leaving the Scarlets?
No one's leaving the Scarlets.
Ospreys?
Oh, Toby Booth.
Toby Booth.
Would take Toby Booth in a heartbeat.
Where is he going?
I think he's going to go to Munster.
You think Toby Booth?
I think he's going to Munster, yeah.
Because
that's my gut feeling.
I was like, what? This guy has been turning this team around.
Yeah, he has. He's a real culture guy as well.
Yeah, legit. Oh man.
Or they're grooming him for the Wales squad position, which would be really nice. We need some good news. Okay, another thing I want to say about this game. Mm-hmm. We did kind of get screwed early on, and this actually happened in that Scotland game. Teams that get a lot of injuries early, it seems to rattle them when they're low on confidence, and they just can't get their game going, right? Mm-hmm. So we lost a couple of key guys pretty early on again, and Liam Williams and Dav Jenkins pulled out last minute. We just have no fucking luck as well as being terrible. So I think that was a factor. That's maybe a 5% excuse I'll give them, you know?
Yeah, it's just like... And then you're bringing players into a losing team that's coming from other losing teams.
Yeah, yeah. How many games has Aaron Wainwright, our best player, won recently? Yeah, right. Yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Rest in peace, Wales.
Yeah, whatever. All
right, let's talk about some real rugby nations.
Let's go.
Let's go to the game of the weekend.
Fuck's sake.
England, France.
The second true blue team didn't win. Yeah.
Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
If you're a French fan, well, you must be just boiling. Your blood has to be fucking boiling.
Right.
I ate my words so hard in this game. I was like, it was close to the end of the game, and France are going to close this one out. It's their game.
Yeah.
And England bring on Elliot Daly, and I literally said,
the Swiss Army knife of English rugby.
I'm like, oh, thank God they're bringing out Elliot Daly. He fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, he scores the winning try.
He does.
Right after I said that, I was like, oh, fuck. I just ate my words.
I know.
I had 100 socks, shoes, T-shirts just shoved in my mouth. Everything. I was like, holy fuck. Yeah.
So truth be told, as you know, I left to go to that class about 65 minutes in, didn't I? France I think they were 8 points up, something like that. And I thought, okay, they got this. Mm-hmm. Penaud finally starting to fire. Because me and you watching that game at the start, I think there were 3 knock-ons by France in times where all they had to do was catch the ball and to try.
Yeah, that was 4 times. There was 4 times. There was 3 in the first half. Yeah. And then there was 1 or 2 in the second half. There was was at least 4 or 3 or 4 tries, definitely. Yeah. That were left on the table because of bad handling. And it didn't eat. So the first one, you think, France are looking good. They're not going to worry about that. Just a little mistake, no big deal. Second one happens. France is still looking good. No big deal. They're just iron out the nerves a bit. Third one, and England have scored at this point. You think, okay, this is a bit of a... France need to fucking wake up a bit because they still look dominant. Mm-hmm. And then I think maybe if there was a fourth one, that sort of time I started to feel like, hang on a minute, is this going to be a close fucking game? But then Penaud finally scored a try. They get a bit of light, and I go, it's good now. I'm going to the gym. The True Blues are back. And then I finished my workout class, and I look at my phone. Elliot Daly scores the winning try. England 26. What the fuck? Tell me what happened. There was people that's all over the park having bad games. Yeah. The media is all over DuPont right now. Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he kind of, he's one of those players that's so good. If he even, sniffs at having an off game, they just pounce on like a bunch of fucking hyenas on
very French
on
though.
an injured animal.
Yeah.
They're all, but like Thomas Ramos, like he had kind of a bit of a shocker.
He did uncharacteristic kick misses. Yeah,
uncharacteristic kick misses.
Yeah,
he even missed some tackles.
Yeah, he did.
He like fumbled some high balls. Like, he was just
as good as he is. He's not always the best tackler.
Is he like?
Yeah, he could have been.
I was like, there's something wrong. Like he has AIDS. Because like there's no other explanation. Like something has to be wrong with
I think
him.
it's somewhere in between having AIDS and having an off day. Somewhere in between there is the real reason.
It was so like weird.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck? Like, who is this guy? Like, what happened?
But tell me about pump up England a bit, because when I left, France looked in control finally, and then they put Elliot Daly. Tell me what happened. I missed it.
This whole game was France.
You think so?
Yeah, the whole game was France.
Yeah.
Just pounding at the door.
Yeah.
England has some good defense.
They do have very good defense.
Yeah, whatever their new defense coach is doing, it's working.
Joey El Abd.
Yeah, he's actually like he's having some results because they were like just valiant.
Who the fuck is Felix Jones, eh?
Yeah, they just fucking blocked the door.
Yeah.
Right? They did get England did get lucky because this should have been like a 40-25 game.
Yes.
45, maybe 50 points.
If some of those tries in the first half, a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas there.
Yeah.
But definitely, I felt like France could have put that game to bed early.
Because the only thing stopping those tries was just bad hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, they were gone.
Yeah.
And just a lot.
I think it was Malvaka and Penaud, a couple of knock-ons early on.
France really did, like, even though like this is a big win for England, like France gave them a helping hand.
Yeah.
They really helped England with this. And then like England just had like a comeback from the dead.
That's what I want to know about. That last sort of 10, 15 minutes, what happened? Like, what was the feeling?
You know that scene in the Bible where Jesus comes out of the cave?
Yeah, remember it.
Yeah. Really intense scene there.
Yeah.
That's what's happened to England. They just like fucking just came alive.
Fucking Lazarus'd it.
Yeah, they
out
just
of the
had
grave.
they just ignited with passion. They just fucking turned into a completely different team.
Yeah. I've seen them do that before.
The last time I saw them do something like this significant was when they played New Zealand and they drew. They were down by like 20 points.
Yeah.
And then George Ford came on and just like kind of fucking
pulled the strings
and steered that. They just became alive.
Yeah.
Everyone was just putting 110% into everything.
It's weird, isn't it? Because they've always, even their last almost like 10 games or so, started super strong and then fade in the last 10 minutes. Well, this is kind of the opposite. Not that they were weak at the start.
Their last like bazillion games have looked the same.
They have, haven't they?
They've just been playing survivor rugby.
Yeah.
Like just soaking in tackles, tackling.
And they look comfortable to do it, but they don't have the gas to get over the line at the end, do they?
And they don't have the creativity. But I think this whole Finn Smith...
He's going to say it.
Marcus Smith, they kind of worked out.
That's exactly what I wanted you to say.
Yeah.
That's what exactly... You
activated
my trap card.
Yeah, you did. I was going to go there.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked. Finn Smith.
It did work. It did fucking work.
And Marcus Smith. And Marcus Smith was coming in as playmaker all the time.
He was so fucking good at fullback.
Yeah.
Like he is. He was the best attacking fullback this weekend. He was. Like, give them the ball in space. That's what he's really good at. And I know it's sad for him because he wants to be the 10. He wants to be the general, the main guy. Finn Smith looked really good at 10. Marcus Smith looked like so much better in attack with more space at fullback. It just worked, didn't it? It just fucking worked. And I hate that because so much criticism at Borthwick, which I have given, has been about him chopping and changing, not knowing how to use Marcus Smith. On the sly, he's just figured it out. He's figured it out, the little bastard.
Yeah, and also I know that Marcus Smith, he plays fullback sometimes.
It's not his first rodeo. Yeah,
Harlequins.
He does. Yeah.
So
he's done it for England before.
Yeah,
he has been there.
I think he played in the quarterfinal. I think he was fullback against Fiji.
Yeah.
And that's where he was like, his face was just beaten to fuck. Like in that game, he looked like he went through a car crash.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, it worked.
It did.
I even liked the setup of the team, the decisions that he made, like Borthwick made, like starting was it Tom Willis?
Yeah.
At 8, like the team, the starting team.
Ben Earl at 7 did so much better. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it worked. The pack worked. It was more efficient. It was it had a good balance of speed and power.
England are finding their spine finally.
Yeah, yeah. And Finn Smith was...
He was very good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, there's too many Finns and Baxters and Smiths and Finns in there now.
I'm actually confusing. Surprised I'm getting the names right here.
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, Jamie George came on.
Yeah.
having Jamie George on the bench and coming off, like he was fucking on fire too.
He was. Yeah. Having Theo Dan and Jamie George is actually a good kind of couple of hookers you've got there, you know?
It is. Well, yeah. Well, no, Luke Cowan-Dickey played.
No, he did. I'm just saying, like, you've got a good couple of backup hookers, you know? Like, no, Luke Cowan-Dickey was good as well. Like, they've actually got depth there.
Yeah. Chandler, Cunningham South, and Harry Randall did not get in this game.
They didn't, because Borthwick is like, let Elliot Daly cook. Elliot Daly cook.
Get Elliot Daly. When they brought him on, I was like, oh, this game's for sure
He's
done.
the English Willie LaRue. Wait till Elliot gets here. You're going to be sorry you messed with us.
I was so surprised. And Borthwick saved his job.
He did.
He fucking saved. He must have been like, whoo, I'm going out. He's like, he called his wife, we're ordering pizza tonight.
We're going to get one medium Domino's between the family. We're celebrating.
Yeah. We're going to be able to pay the bills for another month. Because he fucking saved his job. Because if he would have lost this game, if he would have lost this game, this was going to be, this was the end.
I think so.
I really feel like he was on the brink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if they would have got destroyed.
Yeah. And it was a close game as well, right? Like it felt a bit coin tossy at the end there.
At the end.
Yeah.
The rest of the game was like the whole game was just France.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And England, it looked exactly like the Ireland England game. Right? Just Ireland pounding at the door and England just like fending off.
Yeah.
And at the last minutes, like, you know, England had that spark.
They did. But England, the difference for me, though, was honestly Marcus Smith at fullback. They felt attackingly. Their attack was better.
They had having that extra playmaker really opened up the doors for them.
Well, the big thing for me is when Marcus Smith attacks at 10, there's just no support for him. So he makes all these amazing breaks, but the English team just aren't. They don't have that style of supporting the break, right? Now Marcus Smith has more time. People can see it's happening. His support lines are better. He doesn't get turned over. He doesn't get isolated. So he can do his thing with support and momentum now. And it's just such a big difference for such a seemingly small change, you know?
It also splits the defense.
It does.
Because now you have to watch Finn Smith.
Who is an attacking 10, actually.
Yes, and you have to like worry about Marcus Smith. So and so they can go from both sides of the field.
It's just Smiths everywhere.
Yeah, there's just Smiths all over the place.
Popping up all over the place, yeah.
Yeah, there's like bukkake of Smiths like all over the
and when you
French
finally dealt with the Smith and Elliot Daly sneaks up behind you.
You thought we were done.
It's Daly time.
Zip.
Why did you do that?
But it was good on Borthwick for saving his job.
Are we saying England won it or France lost it?
I'm gonna say in this case, I think you can. I want to say.
Who do you want to piss off, French people or English people?
I think this is the game that France lost.
He said it.
Just because there were so many easily blatant tries that could have been scored, which is bad handling errors.
Two missed Ramos conversions.
If it was like bad calls, like the calls were all mumbly jumbly and they got like tries denied.
Yeah.
But this was just like that was a score if you just would have caught the ball.
I didn't think the ref had any impact on this game at all in a good way.
So France did all the work. They made all the opportunities. They had the openings, and the guy just didn't catch the ball. And it wasn't because of English pressure.
It didn't feel like pressure, did it?
No, it wasn't because of English pressure. It was just bad handling and bad decision making that made them lose this game. So like, if there's, like, I think someone that really really knows rugby will probably see, like, you know, England shouldn't be cheering too hard about this because they got some luck in this one.
So you're trying to cut off the English arrogance before it rears its ugly head, are you?
Yeah, well, there's just a lot of luck in this win.
Okay.
You know, at the same time, though, like their assault that they did at the end was impressive.
It was.
Right. I don't want to take that away because the game was still open and they took that opportunity.
They totally did. And historically they have not been good at that.
No.
They haven't been good at that in New Zealand at home or away.
Even with minutes left, their backs against the wall.
Yeah.
There was still a game to be taken and they took it.
They didn't go away.
And they took it. Yeah. Right. So like it just like France, the only thing is that France gave them that opportunity.
Yeah.
But at the end, like England were just a better team.
I know. I'm trying to put myself in the brain of an English fan. I'm thinking about, you know, my glorious Navy and the King and then I'm thinking like I would be really excited to be an English fan right now though, because they have so many good players that I would be excited about. Young, exciting players. And if you use them in the right combination, you win games. And I think that's what happened here. I do want to give them credit for the fact that if you play Penaud at 7, if you put Marcus Smith at fullback, you make some minor changes to the guys you've already got, you've got a really good rugby team.
Also, a negative thing you can think about too is like England winning this game saves Borthwick, saves his job, and I think a lot of people are seeing that like there needs to be a bit of a coaching change. Maybe the inconsistencies of Borthwick.
Yeah,
like it's easy to make fans forget one win can just like wipe your slate clean.
It's true.
Like what happens?
It's true.
What happens if like Wales play Ireland and they beat Ireland?
No, and that's the. You are right. I think Wales is the exception to that rule because what you just said is absolutely true. One win can change a perspective. I think what Gatland has. You can't lose 14 games and win one, and everyone goes.
You don't think the whole the fans?
No.
Be like,
I mean, I think the WRU would because I think thank fuck we can get away with not having to pay him out, and just keep him because we've got a little breathing space. The pressure is so much on him, and it's embarrassing. Everyone in the public is saying to the WRU and Gatland, like, "What the fuck are you doing? Go away."
Because I know, like
this is different with Borthwick.
The English Rugby Union, they don't want to spend the money to get a new coach,
but they could.
But they will.
They exactly.
Will. They'll fucking light bills on fire.
Yeah.
They'll light money right on fire to change. Right? They don't give a fuck.
To be honest, though, that was a coaching win for Borthwick. He made those decisions and he won the game. So fair play to him. I'll give him credit.
Sure too.
I give him credit for that.
He was very bold in his decision making, and it paid off.
Another thing about coaches is sometimes this happens. They'll lose several games, close ones, and they'll be saying, "We were close," and no one will believe them. They say, "We need wins." And when it finally happens, you have a bit of a gates open moment, and then they'll win a few games, and you go, "Oh, he was actually building up to something. He was telling the truth."
But this was also
maybe it's that
to go against it again.
Yeah,
like the fans are gonna after this win, the fans are gonna forgive Borthwick.
I would if I was an English fan.
They're gonna forgive him, but. You're not when you're doing that. You're missing the nature of the win itself. Like he only got in that position because like France made a lot of fuck ups.
Could say that.
Not let England because the game could have been at a point where it was too far out of reach.
Yeah.
When England had that spark of life,
the
game would have been already done. There would have been not enough time just to come back.
I agree with you, but on the other counterpoint to that,
you have to take that into account.
You definitely do. But I would say that a lot of the big rugby pundits that I watch, so on the Rugby Pod and Tim on his Egg Chasers YouTube, they both were not expecting England wins, and they weren't doing it because they don't like England. They were saying that because just how good France are. And they were like, look at the quality of that French team.
And
we
then
can't
when you're
beat
watching
them.
that game, it should have went that way.
In the first 20 minutes, I felt that way. I was like, look how sexy France are. If only they could catch a ball, you know?
I would have said like 65 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, like they were fucking the dominant team almost the whole game.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
Maybe.
They were just like missing kicks, missing passes, and the points weren't adding up. They just kept the game open the whole time.
Yeah.
So it's just that's what I say about Borthwick. Like it was a good decision making that he made for the team.
Yeah.
The team came through, but there's still a lot of red flags for him.
Yeah.
Like he got he got out of jail free kind of with this one. Like, he jumped out of a way of a wild car in this game. If they would have came in and won this game, they would have won it.
Yeah.
Like
convincingly
won it, then I think there was a different story.
Yeah.
But the fact that they survived it and managed to scrape it out by a point is still concerning. Now, the even more concerning thing here is Fabien Galtier.
He's under pressure now.
He's got to be like that.
You have the goldenest of generations right now. You should win every single game.
Yeah, he has the best, arguably the best players in the world right now.
It's not arguable. It's true. He has the best French team I've ever seen by some fucking distance.
Well, he definitely has the best French team.
Yeah.
But you can even make an argument that some of these players are the best in the world.
They definitely are.
Right?
Yeah, they definitely are. Yeah.
And so he should be...
Penaud is the best winger in the world. I know Jameson Gibson-Park is very, very, very good, but Antoine Dupont is the best player and 9 in the world.
You just go on. Gregory Aldred, I think he's the best 8 in the world.
Yeah. It's a shame you can't have these guys on the Lions tour.
All over the place is just like top.
100%.
Right?
There's not a weak position, is there?
So Fabien Galtier, he's under pressure now.
He definitely is. Yeah.
Like he has to win every single game now.
And the French will riot if you cut their smoking break by 5 minutes. So I'm surprised they haven't burnt down a town already. Like this is, he's under pressure.
I think one more loss, this might even be the loss.
Could be. Genuinely.
He could easily. We could see this week that he might be getting swapped out.
Yeah.
Because there was already talk before the Six Nations on he has this great team, but they don't have anything in the trophy cabinet for it.
They got a Grand Slam under Galtier.
Yeah, like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
and yeah, to get to
since he's taken over, he's won 1 Six Nations.
Had a home World Cup where they didn't get as far as they should have. I think
they should have at least got to a semifinal.
Yeah.
If not a final, like they should have went to at least a final.
Well, they beat New Zealand in the group stages, so it's a shame, isn't it? Really.
So it's just underachieving for what he has. Like this is the coach that really like it should be under the most scrutiny.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's got the money, he's got the players.
Yeah.
Like he's got everything he needs.
Academy's good.
He's got the league. He's got
the best league in the world.
The best
in terms
league
of
in the world.
finances and competition. Yeah.
All the best players in the world are playing in this league.
Yeah.
Like he's got everything in his fingertips.
He does.
He's like Eddie Jones from like when in 2019 or 18.
Yeah.
Right? Like he has everything.
Yeah.
That he needs.
He's got all the pieces.
Or 2007, whenever they were like went on the 18th Street run, he had access to the players. Like he had everything he needed to be successful.
Yeah.
So like that would be the concern thing. I could see it easily that Fabian Galtier could get fired this week.
I don't think this week, but definitely in the tournament.
I could see it. It's very unlikely.
I don't want this to become like football, like soccer. I mean, I don't want it to become like that where it's like every manager is. It's a results game, but in Premier League football, people get managed.
The French have always been there. They fired their coaches mid World Cup.
They do.
Like,
but
which World Cup was it where they fired their coach in the middle of it?
Counterpoint to that, though, right? Galtier is the guy who brought balance to the force in France. Because before Galtier, French rugby was notorious for a million penalties, players who would either show up and play the game of their lives or next week play awfully because they didn't care. He brought stability to a team with a lot of potential. And now he has turned them into, like, we don't say which French team's going to show up anymore. They're always a good team.
But now you're talking about, you have the top 14.
Yeah.
And, like, remember how, like, you used to talk about the top 14 teams?
Yeah.
Like, they were highly paid and they would never travel.
Yeah.
They'd be fucking smoking and eating baguettes at the side of practice.
Yeah.
It was kind of like this just, like, fucking Wild West League.
Yeah.
It's matured so much.
It has.
It's professionalized so much. I bet you there's, like, a dozen coaches like Fabian Galtier in the
That's
league
very
right
true, actually.
Right? There's a dozen of them that are ready to like step up.
Ronan O'Gara is sniffing around that door hard. He would love that French job, wouldn't he?
Oh, he would.
He would love it.
Rumors is that he's
there are going to be some fucking jouets going on pretty soon.
Rumors he's putting his hat in for the Wallabies.
Let's spread some rumors.
Yeah, let's spread some rumors.
Let's do it. Yeah.
But yeah, I could see that. That's the game. I think. Yeah, if you're a French fan, you're frustrated as fuck.
Yeah.
If you're an England fan, you're happy as fuck. But I still see a lot of red flags with this team. Yeah.
Although England have already played the two biggest games, right?
Yes.
So if Ireland lose a game potentially against France, then England could still win this tournament. You know,
England could still win this tournament.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because now they got the two hardest teams out of the way.
Yeah.
And they lost 1-1, which was the best result.
And I can see them beating
both of them. But
I know what Scotland do. Like as soon as Scotland play England, it's a different situation. And even Wales, even as shit as we are, we will be a bit better. We'll still lose to England, I've no doubt. But I think we'll show up for that game just because it's England. So they've got two testing games where they're unfairly targeted by little annoying Celts. But they're easier games, you'd have to say, on paper than the two they've already done.
That's true. They do have a very good chance of winning this tournament.
Much depends on if France can beat Ireland in Dublin, which is a big ask now.
Yeah.
So
they got Ireland, they got Italy, Wales, and France left. Yeah, France is going to be standing in the way because I guarantee they'll beat Italy and Wales. Ireland.
You think Ireland are going to beat Italy in Wales?
No, Italy and Wales.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
You didn't hear about that special game?
Why not? Nothing surprises me. Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's still red flags for England, but they could win. They could win the Six Nations.
Yeah, they could.
Now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then France. Yeah. I'd be fucking pissed.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they deserve to win everything forever now with those guys.
You deserve to have it all.
Yeah.
You deserve to have everything you've ever dreamed of. Let's talk about the last game of the weekend that we just finished watching.
Fresh off the back of it.
Ireland.
Wait. No. Wait. Spoilers. because it just happened.
Yeah.
Say the thing. Now do it.
Oh, Ireland 32, Scotland 18.
Look at that. If this wasn't the most I could have told you this fucking would happen game ever, fucking hell. Scotland. Fucking flower of nothing.
The flower of fucking... This team collapsed.
It's so hard to... Because I often find myself... Like, Scotland have Wales vibes and they're plucky underdogs, they're Celts. They're very easy for me to support. They're very easy for me to be my second team in the Six Nations, right? Mm-hmm. But they're too Welsh about it. Like, I've been saying this for a while now. Ireland are their litmus test. Every time Scotland do something good and they're getting better and everyone's like, oh, they're finally here. They're finally going to do it. I'm like, the day they beat Ireland, I'll start believing the Scotland hype train. But they just can't do it. They just cannot do it.
The win when Russell came off at 21 minutes.
Yeah. They did kind of get shafted by some early injuries there. Yeah. Like, that totally ruined their game plan. You could tell.
They lost Darcy Graham.
And Finn Russell.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he's looked a bit messed up. Yeah.
And Finn Russell, like, at 20 minutes into the game.
And it clearly ruined their game plan, didn't it?
Yeah, it kind of threw everything right out the door.
Their discipline was shocking. And Ireland, weirdly, knew how to give away penalties. Like, there was some strategic penalty giving there.
They are playing...
They're playing 4D chess with Scotland then.
There's something going on in World Rugby. Like, Ireland are playing a game a lot more like New Zealand.
Where they just cheat for the sake of it. Because they just know how to cheat good, don't they? And all the best teams do. The best teams do.
Yeah, they know when to take penalties.
Yeah.
They don't... it almost feels like they're not keeping possession of the ball anymore. Like, they only had 42% of possession.
Yeah. And that's strange for Ireland because they like possession, don't they? And they're good at keeping hold of the ball.
They're putting more... Because they used to, like... there's a shift going on here. Like Ireland's doing this thing where they're putting more importance on their defense.
Yeah.
Because they have more confidence in their attack.
Yeah.
Where they're just not holding the ball at all anymore. Because it used to be like, okay, we need to have this ball because if New Zealand get it, they'll score.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to hold on to this ball more. And I think what's happening is...
They're starting to let go.
They're just starting to let go.
They're starting to trust their defense. They're starting to trust their counter-attack.
And what I'm seeing a shift here is, which I thought was really smart by Scott Robertson. When you're watching... last time
Robertson.
I'm switching this up here.
Okay.
When I was watching the All Blacks play, last time I was watching the play, I was like, fuck, they're playing a lot like Ireland.
Okay.
Right? They are holding on to the ball.
Oh.
They're keeping possession of the ball a lot more.
Because they don't want Ireland having it.
Well, I think what was happening was that since these blitz defense came in, it kind of just destroyed New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like it destroyed the blitz defense kind of like opened the door.
It was the secret to beating them, wasn't it?
Right?
Put them under lots of physical pressure, yeah.
So what was happening was like New Zealand would play a game where they'd never had the ball. Yeah. They would just wait for it to come to them and then they'd create something.
Fancy counterattack, yeah.
But when they got it, the moments that they did have it, this blitz defense would come at them.
Yeah.
Right? So what they're doing now is they're holding on to this ball as much as possible and wearing down the other team with this blitz defense.
I see what you're saying. To reiterate, New Zealand would, on the counter, they'd have 2% possession. They'd get the ball, quickly fling it out to the wing. Like, they just go down the back line, get it to the winger. He'd do his thing. Everyone's supporting him because they've got great support lines. But now, when they get the ball, they're more conservative, bash up the middle a bit, keep possession, build phases in a more kind of conservative way because they want
to wear down.
They want to wear down the other team a bit
because that blitz defense takes so much energy.
It does. It's exhausting.
New Zealand's like, we'll just hold on to this ball.
Yeah, tire them out.
We'll let these guys. They're rope-a-doping other teams.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Do you know what rope-a-doping is?
Yes.
Like when the boxer just lets the other guy just punch the shit out of him.
Just tire him out, right?
And tire him out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So like New Zealand's doing this now, and it's visible because I was like, man, they're playing a lot like Ireland, and it's like Ireland now has like been swapping roles. Like they're like, we don't need the ball. We'll just like when the ball gets to us, we'll make something happen. And I think it
does feel like that.
And since they're playing against, since they're in the Northern Hemisphere and they're playing against these rush defenses so much, they can they're learning how to manipulate it more.
That's the thing. I think out of everything you just said, the big takeaway for me is just how much of an intelligent rugby team Ireland are. They're playing 4D chess with other teams, right? Like they know how to manipulate your game plan before they've even done their own thing, right?
They're a fucking ant colony. Like, they're all in one mind.
They are. They're just so in sync.
What do they call it? The colony mind or
the hive mind?
The hive mind. Yeah, they're like a hive mind. Like, everyone's so in sync. Everyone knows what each other's doing. Like,
helps when everyone plays for the same fucking successful team, though. Doesn't it?
Help. It does help.
But it does, I'm genuinely. I'm not saying that to joke.
Like,
right?
it's
it does really help.
Because there was a team like I was listening to something else the other day, and they were talking about this, like having players from the same team.
Yeah.
Helps.
Oh, so much. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. The synchronicity.
Right? Because now other players have to learn these other players.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Scotland were disappointing because they got excited and they tried too hard. They gave away some penalties. Ireland just seemed to know they were going to do that. And Ireland were really good at shithousery at the breakdown. They were just winding them up in the right way. And Ireland didn't mind conceding a penalty if it meant Scotland would make more mistakes, right? So they were just playing with them at times. And you could almost tell what was going to happen. Like, Scotland maybe get a lead, maybe look promising, and then Ireland will just be patient and pick their moments just like they always do. Jameson Gibson Park is fucking unreal. It's sometimes hard to say Antoine Dupont's the best player in the world when Jameson Gibson Park exists.
Yeah.
Because he's just that fucking good sometimes. He's just everywhere.
There's some Amish-looking dude from New Zealand. Hey, you want to come over here?
Just put down that furniture. Stop making wooden furniture in the wilderness. Come play rugby in Dublin. Okay. James Lowe again, just like so strong, right? Like you don't have to be a fast winger when you've got that strength and turn of pace, right? Just knows what to do. Like Hugo Keenan was very good as well. Hugo Keenan was so reliable. And Blair Kinghorn was decent, but Hugo Keenan kind of made him look a bit silly at times just because he was so much more consistent.
He's just clutch.
He is, isn't he?
He's just, when he's around, if the ball's there and he's there, you know something good's going to happen.
It reminds me of Lee Halfpenny. Like, when you could have had 3 guys on Lee Halfpenny, no other guys, and I thought he'll tackle the right guy. He won't make a mistake. Hugo Keenan's the same. He just doesn't make a mistake, right?
He's rugby smart.
He's smart.
He's super talented.
He is very talented.
He kind of came out of nowhere.
And I think even today people underestimate him because he doesn't get the plaudits because what he's good at isn't always attack. He catches every high ball. He makes the right tackle. He's one of those guys that's just under the radar being excellent.
He's actually what everyone says Freddie Stewart is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You know how people hype up Freddie Stewart?
Yeah.
He is actually that stuff.
He is. We've been making this joke all weekend, right? It's like whenever you hear a prop is good around the park, it's code for the shit at scrumming. Yeah. And whenever you hear someone talk about Freddie Stewart, he's great under the high ball. It's like, yeah, but he's shit at everything else. But Hugo Keenan's actually good at everything else. So.
I could see Hugo Keenan's got to be going on the Lions.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It'll probably be him and Blair Kinghorn.
Definitely, because there's not really any other contenders, is there?
Because there's just no one that's as solid in the Northern, out of the Irish team, the British and Irish Lions teams.
No.
That is as solid in the back as Hugo Keenan.
And do you know who I could also see going? And you might hate this, but Kieran Frawley, because he can play. If you're going to take 2 out-and-out fullbacks, I know Blair Kinghorn can play 10, but what the Lions tour is about versatility, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you need a versatile guy.
He could definitely be on a Lions tour.
Yeah.
Elliot Daly, it's going to be in the Lions tour.
Of course, yeah. I mean, to be fair to him, he shows up when it counts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Like, if you want someone to kick from in your half to win the game, he's going to do it for you.
Yeah. Fuck, he must feel like $1 million right now.
I know. Yeah.
But I kind of feel like the Scotland-Ireland game, I kind of feel like we're a little bit because of injuries. I thought we were a little bit robbed of a game.
Yeah, those two early subs really made a difference too. Because Scotland, I know I'm down on them, but when they're firing, they're really firing. Duhan's try was excellent. The defense was actually good, right? We were talking about it. The defense was pretty solid in the first half anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of potential. They don't have the bench for it though, do they? Scotland know they have to score 20 points in the first half to have a hope of winning in the second.
Yeah,
because
not having one of the best 10s in the world on the field.
Yeah, it makes
really
a big difference.
Fucks that right up.
And Tui Pilotu not being in the Six Nations is genuinely heartbreaking because he's incredible. Like, he's so fucking good.
Because for a team like Scotland, and what they have, you need every single.
You do, yeah.
You need your whole. You can't be going in with a half team.
No, you can't,
because you don't have the players.
They don't have the depth, do they?
Right.
Like, if
you have a full healthy squad,
could be anyone.
The game's up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially right now. But I just felt a little bit robbed of this game.
Me too. It was disappointing by the end.
Yeah, because their backs are already against the wall. But when the injuries started coming in, the yellow card, I was like, oh, they're fucking.
And there was that whole narrative about some of the Irish media guys like, how dare you, arrogant Scotland? We're going to show you. And then by the time they get there, like Finn Russell and Darcy Graham get injured. I was like, it's no fun now. Like the spice is gone.
Yeah.
So as a neutral, I felt a bit robbed.
There's no scare. There's no hey, Ireland, you guys got to keep your head in the game. Like Scotland's here for this game.
Totally. No. And guys like Jack Conan coming on, it was just like we're playing cards. My deck's running low, and you whip out the fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's like you got Jack Conan coming on, replacing a back row. Like
you can't name any from Scotland that really stood out in this game.
Doohan a bit. He was all right. Yeah. He also had the yellow card, though.
They should have had a penalty try.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
He was being a silly boy. That should have been
a fucking penalty try.
Yeah, I don't disagree, actually. He was being a silly boy.
That was a weird call. Like, I was like, that's a penalty try right there. Nope, it's not.
It's hard to think of anyone. Because the scrum wasn't even... It was fine, but it wasn't... Yeah, I agree.
I just don't see anywhere around the park where they were like, they did something.
There was no area of the game where they were better than Ireland, really.
Well, in the line-out, they were.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Ireland's line-out is still fucking... I don't know. Like, Paul O'Connell... I'm surprised that they haven't come from Paul O'Connell yet.
Yeah. He's the Irish Warren Gatland, isn't he? Just getting away with some bullshit.
Every game, the line-out is like... Yeah. There's something wrong with it.
Dan Sheehan threw a shocker as well. One of his line-out throws, it was like a fucking dodgy basketball shot. Like, fuck, what was that? Like, I thought you were the best guy in the world. Like,
yeah. So that is the weekend. That's the weekend of the Six Nations.
Yeah. How do you feel about the Six Nations?
I told you this at the beginning of the
How do you feel after talking about it a lot?
I'm still pumped. It's still my favorite time of the year.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I still think. Yeah, I think right now. Ireland I think Ireland are on the way of a Grand Slam.
I think so too. Yeah. It's not as dominant as the one 2 years ago where it was like easy win.
I think this team
they're probably getting
they got France's number in this one.
And I think had France beaten England, there's two ways this could go. Either France implode and lose to Italy like they did last year, or they galvanize because they're pissed off at themselves and and then they're actually they fulfill their potential. But, this comes down to who has home advantage in that Ireland-France game. It's Ireland, so for me, even now, I'm calling Ireland win.
I felt like when last week, I was like, if Ireland beat England, they're probably going to get a Grand Slam here because England is always like they're the
bogey team.
Yeah, that's their bogey team.
Yeah.
And once they got over that hill, I was like, it's going to be smooth sailing from here.
I think I agree, yeah. Much will depend on that France-Ireland game, but I think Ireland... I'd give them like 60-40 over France winning it now.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some more Welsh bullshit?
Yeah, I want to hear some more Welsh bullshit. All in for the
we
Welsh
go now
bullshit.
to Frank in the Welsh bullshit corner for Welsh bullshit week.
It's the Welsh bullshit corner with Frank.
So maybe some good news. I'm gonna read you some bullet points.
Okay.
And you're gonna tell me what you think about it. Okay.
Okay.
So they're on the verge of completing a deal between the Welsh regions and WRU. And a lot of people are saying...
Sorry, say that again. I was blanking out.
Fuck's sake. That's everything for this week, guys. Welsh Rugby Union.
Okay.
Welsh regions.
Yes.
Historically fighting.
Yeah.
They're close to making a deal. They were had a deal, but they're making a better deal.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be happy.
Potentially, but already everyone online is going, this is the worst deal in the history of deals.
Fuck.
No, I actually think it's a small step in the right direction. But so the Welsh Rugby Union are going to increase funding. For me, that's massive. Because the reason we're shit is because we've got no money, right? Give the regions money. That solves a lot of problems. It's not a lot of money.
Give the regions money.
On the condition that the Welsh regions can be told by the WRU, if we want this player to move to this club, we can ask for it.
Ooh.
And but the caveat is, if that player doesn't want to go, they don't go, which I liked because it's like
you can't force a player.
I mean, other countries have done that though. They have literally moved people around like chess pieces.
If you want to keep playing rugby, you have to go over here.
If you want to play for the national team, you have to go here. Ooh. So I like that, right? Like I do like that they respect the player's agency here. The other thing was the WRU increased funding on the condition that they get more power generally over the regions. Significantly, they're also keeping 4 regions.
I think if you're going to give these regions more money, you have to be more controlling. Yeah. You gotta supervise this money more.
Yes. Yeah.
Because here's $1 million. And like, well, we bought $1 million worth of benches.
Which would be very Welsh Rugby Union, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the pathway for, if you're a Welsh boy, you're growing up in Wales, you're playing rugby, what is the pathway the typical professional rugby player takes?
That's a really good question, because a lot of people will say, look at the Irish system, look how well they do, right? And they do. What happened about 10 years ago is the British government cut sports funding across the UK. So Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales and England cut funding, which is where Wales, the Welsh Rugby Union, got the money to fund the academies.
Yeah.
So we closed our academies about 10 years ago, right? I mean, we didn't, we're not in the sense that we've stopped all pathway development, but, used to have dedicated academies. And we used to have like a Wales A team. We don't have that. No. Because they cut the sports funding, right? Bottom line is we didn't have a lot of money, but neither did the WRU go, instead of filling the gap in the funding, which they could have done, they were just like, fuck it, that's over now, right? But what you would have now is we have a competition. It's funny because it's called Super Rugby, but rugby is spelt in the Welsh way. So we have like a tier, it's the tier below the regions, and it's kind of semi-professional. It's professional, I guess, right? 10 teams, and it's seen as a pathway development, and each of the regions has an academy, right? They'll have like their academy squad, but they're tiny comparatively, right? So if
so
a guy...
the Dragons, the Blues...
Right.
The Ospreys, they all have an academy.
They all have an academy, right? The problem is the way we're geographically distributed. So in South Wales, you've got 3 big cities, Cardiff, Swansea, Newport, and there's a region in each one of them. And then you have Scarlets, which is representing the town of Llanelli, 30,000 people, and the entire of West and North Wales. It's like if you had, in Canada, a rugby region in Toronto, a rugby region in Vancouver, and maybe one in Calgary, and there was another region which represented the entire rest of Canada. And it's like, how do I know if a guy in Nunavut is playing well enough to come and play for my team based 1,000 miles away, right? It's just geographically nonsense. But if we get more money for the regions, they can start to invest in that. And it's coming from the WRU. So they're fixing these mistakes, but just glacially slow. So we're going to be shit for another 10 years, but I do think this is a step in the right direction.
So what are these regions going to do with this money? What do you think? What do you think they should be doing?
Pay the players more.
Keeping them...
To keep them in Wales.
To keep them in Wales.
Because a lot of these guys, like there's rumors...
So when you're talking about a region, do you think like the Dragons and Cardiff and Scarlets, they're going to get more money?
They will. That's part of the deal.
And then what about below that? What's going on below all that?
Well, that's the Super Rugby thing, right?
Yeah.
And that is 10 teams. They get money from the WRU, but less. Much less. And that is seen as like... So if I play for Cardiff, there's a guy at Cardiff, Kenzie Martin. He's had a couple of Welsh caps at 8. He's not even playing for Cardiff right now, so they send him to the team, the Rags, which is like Cardiff RFC, who are in Super Rugby. And they keep him there to develop him. They keep him going. But if there's a guy playing for the Cardiff Academy, he might play for Cardiff RFC for a bit to kind of build some game time. But we don't have private schools like England and Ireland do, and even Scotland to a little extent, right? So if there's a kid who's 5 years old and someone's like, he's going to be 12 foot tall, we don't have a nutritionist and a gym and a personal trainer and all the rest of it to develop that kid. We just hope he likes rugby enough when he's 16 to stick with it, you know? That's our weakness.
So these kids are basically playing beer league rugby until they get into
basically
the Super Rugby.
Yeah, if you're good enough at about 16 or 17, maybe if you live in Cardiff, close enough to one of these big rugby clubs, a scout will see you. If you're from where I'm from in North Wales, good fucking luck.
Because the English kids, the Irish kids, they're going to these private schools and they're basically they're in these programs that are
from a young age,
very close to professional setups.
Yeah.
They have nutritionists, they have psychologists, they have a team of coaches.
Well, we saw that.
Are we talking like these kids are growing up where their uncle is the coach? One of their uncles is the coach?
Yeah, that's how it goes, basically.
And he spends his spare time after working in the factory to go coach the kids.
I mean, it's very much like backhand deal. So in my hometown, we have the RGC in North Wales, right? Rugby Gogledd Cymru. It just means North Wales Rugby. That's our Super Rugby team. At one point, they were thinking it was going to be a region, whatever. In my hometown, this kid was pretty good at playing 9. One of the guys from my RGC, like one of the board members, came to watch a game and was like, oh, he's pretty good. Send him over for a week. There's no formal structure to this. There is, but it's very much
like Canada.
It's not far away, right? And it's depressing because this is our sport and our participation numbers are dropping because most of these guys, if they're good enough, aren't getting picked up. aren't getting development. Whereas if I'm in Dublin and I'm in a private school in Dublin, from birth, I've got 10 robots massaging my muscles to make them grow bigger, right? And like you said, in that documentary we watched, the setup at those private schools is as good, probably better, than the regional level rugby in Wales, right? So we don't stand a chance yet. We just don't have the money. But this is a step in the right direction. But the other thing is, it's like, maybe you're a good kid at 15, 16. Guess what? That college in Gloucester's going to go, come play with us, sign this deal. If you sign this, you have to play for England at age grade. That happens a lot. I was telling you about that, right? So we're still, anyone who does fall through the gap, England are poaching them.
It's so fucking shitty.
Because they got more money, you know?
It's such a fucking...
I know, it's predatory, isn't it? Yeah. So then you got guys like Kepu Tuipulotu, some of Ife Waboso, never seen them again, you know? Fuckers.
Well, they're probably looking in hindsight like, oh, thank God.
Probably. And I don't blame them in that respect, right? It's just sad, isn't it? Because there's no pride in the jersey. So
why are people saying that this is the worst deal ever?
I think because they feel like the regions having less decision-making power is going to mean the WRU, who are a corrupt mess, putting their fingers in and going, Toby Booth, do something different. When Toby,
you need some babysitting, boys.
You do. We do. I agree. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's just not enough for me, actually.
Another thing I can think of right off the top of my head is the English Championship would probably benefit from the same thing.
Yeah, and
because that's a fucking mess too.
It is a mess, and it's almost like they don't like it in England anymore, isn't it? They're just defunding it criminally. Yeah, yeah.
They're going to be like trafficking drugs to fund it pretty soon. Like they just.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I had a bit of a rant. That kind of.
Oh, it was interesting. I wanted to hear.
Good. I got some feelings out.
Yep. I was sucked in.
Good.
To the Welsh drama.
Good.
I like some good old.
If you like drama, it's going to be here for a fucking while. So, and I guess our under-20s beat Italy, so there's some good news for us. Yeah, in Italy. Don't think we've done that in a while.
Well.
Yeah.
I think we talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
Thank you for letting me be depressed.
Yeah.
In public.
The Frank venting hour.
Yeah.
You didn't vent too much.
No, I didn't, did I? I thought it was...
No, you're really good and you're really informative. You did a really good job.
I did? Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about Sam Prendergast.
We didn't. Do you want to?
No,
I got my airtime. Do you want to talk about Sam Prendergast?
We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay.
Well, friends, like and share the podcast. You can email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com. And find us. We're all over the place. So you just find us. Just Google us.
We're over there.
Just give us a Google. Read our entertaining AI description that AI has come up when you Google us.
Yeah, I feel like we slandered Adam Jones a bit there.
And have a good one, folks.
Okay.